The Indian driver will line up 16th on the grid from Bangalore and just 17 years of age. Second in the BRDC Formula 4 Championship behind George Russell last year. So used to Silverstone, used to racing in the British weather. And he is 16th on the grid. So good luck at the drivers on the grid there. 35 of them now setting off on the formation lap here at Silverstone. And pole position in the dry conditions of yesterday, around about 2-3 tenths quicker than pole from last year. Last year, Tom Blomqvist, who went on to become the runner-up in the championship, set pole for race one with a 1 minute 51.327, so yeah, 3 tenths slower than this year's pole time. Esteban Ocon was on pole for races 2 and 3 for Prema last year. And some dramas for cars failing to get going at the moment, so they'll get that going. There's McLeod also starting from the pit lane. Is Julio Moreno, the Ecuadorian, aiming to become the first ever Ecuadorian driver to reach Formula 1. So he starts from the pit lane as well. Now there's the car. It's one of the Fortec cars. It's Zikong Li, the Chinese driver in number 32 for Fortec. Can't get the car off the grid at the moment. So there you can see the line already drying here, but off the line, treacherous still. And if you've got slick tyres on, you're in strife. Just in front of me in the commentary box on the start-finish line, it looks like they still can't get that Fortec fired up on the slick tyres. But at the moment, might be starting from the pit lane. They're wheeling him off the circuit. So Zikong Li is being wheeled off the circuit. The gates are closed, and they'll try and do something with that, try and get him fired up. But it looks like he's going to be either not starting the race or starting towards the back of the field. So Felix Rosenqvist has really got to make the most of this, hasn't he? Knowing that he's going to be plumb last on the grid for the races today, later on today, and the race tomorrow morning. He's got to turn this into a race victory. You've got to get into the top 10 to score points. It's the same FIA point system that you'd expect in Formula 1. So from 35th on the grid, he'll do well to get any more points this weekend. Dry line through Kopp's corner there. And we've had a spin for Tatiana Calderon, the only female driver in the field, 15th in last year's championship, and a really strong end to the season last year. She kept scoring points at every round. She has switched now to the Carlin Racing team, but starting a little bit lower down the grid than she would have liked. One of the more experienced drivers in the field now, actually. 63 races I think she's had, and one of the more experienced drivers in Formula 3. She's had a spin there. She's 24th on the grid, the Colombian. Good racecraft demonstrated by Tatiana last year. See if she can put any of that to use to get somewhere near the points. I suspect there's going to be a race of two halves here. Everybody's got wet tyres on. They're going to go off like a train, but then struggle in the second half of the race. Looks like a lot of them are going for slick tyres from what we've seen from the pictures on the grid, which is going to be a bit hairy, scary for the first couple of laps. Dry down the Hanger Straight though, isn't it? So it is drying out quick. The sun's out. It's a bit of a breeze here as ever at Silverstone, and it's bone dry there. Been here before, but it's been throwing it down with rain on one side of the circuit and completely dry and sunny on the other side of the circuit. It's one of the bigger tracks on the calendar, so they will be just keeping an eye on this formation lap to see where there is any standing water, where it is damp, and where they can afford to go offline. Going into Stowe, that looked pretty dry as well. Looks very damp on the inside run into Vale though, which it can be an overtaking opportunity. A bit of heat in the brakes there. So what Sam McLeod can do, the Edinburgh-based driver from towards the back of the grid, 4th in the British Formula 3 Championship last year. Quite a depleted field last year, but Sam certainly a strong driver, one to watch out for here. So we're going to start the race behind the safety car effectively. Get 2 laps behind the safety car they're going to get, because they haven't been out in damp conditions yet. It's been dry, so a chance A to get a bit of heat in the tyres and brakes, and B to get a feel, as I say, for where you can afford to go offline to try a passing manoeuvre. It's a big test this, isn't it, for the rookie drivers? So the race effectively is underway behind the safety car. Felix Rosenqvist is on pole position for the Prema Power team. Antonio Giovinazzi lines up second, Jake Dennis third, George Russell fourth, the best of the rookies. Going into Brooklyn still looks very, very wet offline at the end of the Wellington Straight. Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque 5th, Brandon Mazzano 6th, Alexander Albon 7th, Lance Stroll 8th, Marcus Pommer 9th, Callum Eilert in 10th position in the top 10 here. With more than half of these drivers now, 18 of the 35, about to embark upon their first ever FIA F3 European Championship race. So there's confirmation on the screen that the safety car is coming in this lap, and the race will get underway properly, if you like. They're just making their way through Copse Corner, which used to, of course, be the first corner of the lap since the circuit was remodeled a few years ago for the international events. This is Abbey Corner. That will be turn 1. They'll run through the very quick left-hander at Farm Curve, and then hard on the brakes into Village Corner, which will bunch them all up through the loop before they go onto the long Wellington Straight in the middle of the lap. Links back onto the older part of the circuit through Duffield, Woodcut, down the straight into Copse, through the fantastic S section of Maggots and Beckett's, through Chapel Curve, the left-hander onto the Hanger Straight. As you can see there, that's the exit to Chapel, onto the Hanger Straight, down towards Stowe Corner. Lots of overtaking opportunities down here. Top speed of these cars is 175 miles an hour in the right conditions, 240 kilometres an hour, and they can do 0 to 60 miles an hour, or 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in just under 3 seconds. So huge performance on these cars. Lots of aerodynamic downforce, as you can see, from the wings in front and the rear, all running on Hankook tyres. It does look like slicks is the way to go for this race, but as I say, you've got to be careful, particularly it seems about Brooklands at the end of the Wellington Straight. So now Felix Rosenqvist will begin to build things up here. Once they get past the safety car line, they can start overtaking before they get to the start-finish line. We've already got contact there in the middle of the field as well, and that's Charles Leclerc, number 7, Brendan Mazzano, number 24. Charles caught the back end of somebody as well. It may have been George Russell before he went into the spin. So it's the top 2 as it was, Rosenqvist and Giovinazzi. Looks like we've got a move here from number 34 down the inside, Marcus Pommer. He's raced in Formula 3 in Germany, he's raced in Formula 2 as well. Running off wide there, the Gigonia Iron with Carling cars. Just shows how easy it is to make a mistake here. Rosenqvist, Giovinazzi and Dennis have held station. Alexander Albon got through it all and has moved it to 4th place now. That Stroll is also already going to start from 8th up to 5th position, weaving their way through Village and the loop now, all trying to find a line here, trying to find their way onto the Wellington Straight. There's Hong Wei Chow, British Formula 3 champion, making his way through the midfield. George Russell, yes, I thought he might have got tagged, and he did. He's down in 18th place, I'm afraid. So the rookie for Carlin from 4th down to 18th, and the safety car is going to be deployed. So less than half a lap of full-on action. There was quite a bit of action as well, but the safety car is going to be deployed now. There is number 23, Sergio Sete Camara. Did a couple of races last year in Formula 3, the Brazilian. And there is number 36, Sam Leclerc, trying to make his way through from the back of the field. So who else have we got down there? One of the Muka Motorsport cars, number 35, Kang Lin, the Chinese driver. So this is where it all kicked off, this battle for 4th place. And yes, it was number 7, Charles Leclerc, trying to get down the inside of George Russell. Contact was made, and then Brendan Mazzano came to grief after that. And then in a separate incident, that is where we lost at that corner Kang Lin before the actual start line. But once you get past the safety car in line, you can overtake on the run through Club Corner. So frustrating start for poor old Felix Rosenqvist. He just wants to get on with the race and get away from them, but he can't at the moment. Telling, I suppose, that in amongst all of that, the top 3 drivers are 3 drivers coming back from last year, so with more experience of this kind of racing. So the car's littered at the side of the circuit there towards the end of the lap. No choice really but to immediately redeploy the safety car. So Felix Rosenqvist leads the race, but he hasn't really had a full lap at full speed yet. There's Giovinazzi, Antonio Giovinazzi in 2nd place, so it's the Swede, then the Italian, then the British driver, Jake Dennis 3rd, Alexander Albon 4th, Marcus Pommer is 5th, Lance Stroll is 6th. Then we've got up to 7th place, Maximilian Gunther, he got through the drama. 8th is Callum Eilert, Gustavo Meneses up to 9th, and Nicholas Beer up into 10th place. So those are the drivers in the top 10. Jeffrey 11th, Miney 12th have made up places as well. Fittipaldi 13th, Tveta 14th, Schiller and Seta 15th and 16th. So Alexander Albon is the top rookie at the moment. Has made his way up to 4th place. Was just behind that initial incident between tomorrow's pole sitter, Charles Leclerc, and George Russell. Another incident further back. Then meant that they definitely had to bring the safety car out in the pit lane there. Catch who that was, but just taking the opportunity to come into the pits. I don't think it'll be a very long safety car period. The lights are still on, so it's going to be out for a while at least. There, I'm afraid, he's number 24, Brandon Mazzano, who has come fully to grief now. It's kind of an innocent bystander in all of that. He was just behind the initial incident. And back out of the pits, having had the team look at the car, is Charles Leclerc. So he's going to be almost at the back of the field now. I think we're going to get some mixed results here this weekend. That's the man who's going to be on pole for races 2 and 3. He's going to be at the back of the field now for this one. And the driver who's leading this race, Felix Rosenqvist, due to that technical infringement with the bodywork, just a small oversight by the team, he's going to have to start, rather than from pole position, as his times would have suggested, he's going to have to start races 2 and 3 from the very back of the field tomorrow. Good to see Felix back on form though. Good to see him winning at Macau. Excellent performance there. He won the street race at France at Pau as well, won the Pau Grand Prix, so it was a real up and down year for him. At 23, he's one of the older drivers in the field. Got lots of drivers in their teens. And the Canadian Lance Stroll, he's one of the 16-year-olds. He's the youngest driver in the field. He's doing quite well at the moment. They're in 6th position. Marcus Pommer making his way up the order as well. He is just ahead in 5th place. One of the senior drivers at 24 years of age, raced in Formula 2 in Germany, the ATS F3 Cup, in which he was the champion last year, and raced at Macau. Finished just outside the top 10 at the end of season. Big international Formula 3 race. So Marcus Pommer, one of the older statesmen at just 24 years of age. Felix Rosenqvist, likewise at 23, now in his 5th season. Masters F3 champion a few years ago as well. As Autosport magazine pointed out, he's not the only Swede to stay in Formula 3 for a number of years, predominantly with Felix. It's to do with funding. He struggles to get the backing and the funding to progress sometimes, despite his obvious talent. Stephanie Hansen was in his 5th year of Formula 3 before he went on to win the British F3 title in 1980. Rickard Rydell, touring car fame, before he went into tin tops. He was Formula 3 race. He spent 7 seasons in Formula 3. A couple of examples. This is very much now seen as the top single-seater championship. That is why so many newcomers have been here. Certainly helped, I think, the profile of the championship by the wonderful performances of Max Verstappen to 3rd place in the championship last year, somehow managing almost to overshadow the eventual champion Esteban Ocon, and Tom Blomqvist was the runner-up. A glimpse there of Kang Ling's car being pushed in. So perhaps he won't go any further than the 18-year-old. Started his career racing karts in Shanghai. So a bit more of an opportunity to get a bit of this surface water up, but it'll only be on the racing line. And as we saw, from that very first corner, you go off the line on slicks, you have got to be very, very careful. So easy to slide into the side of somebody else. Now, are they going to get Kang Ling's car going again? They're pushing him down the pit lane and trying. It's been a difficult weekend so far for Kevsted Tyler 24 Mooka Motorsport. I mean, championship challenges with Felix Rosenqvist a couple of years ago in 2013, taking him to 2nd spot in the championship with 11 wins. They really struggled a bit last year. Some good results. Lucas Howe was 4th in the championship. Felix down in 8th place. Had wins, had podiums, but not anywhere near as many as they would have liked. There's Antonio Giovinazzi. What can he do? Safety car lights are still on, it seems. Giovinazzi, who's 21 now, started his Formula 3 career in 2013, as we see the number 14 car of Matt Rao being, we haven't seen that dropping down the order, but Matt Rao, his car obviously came to grief somewhere on that opening lap, and unfortunately the British driver looks like he's out of the race now as well. Came through Formula Ford, which is a front runner in the championship that round, and Renault, second in the British Formula 3 championship last year. Right, building the speed up then, getting ready to go, because the green flag is now out. The safety car has gone in. Looks like this race is going to go to the maximum duration, I reckon, of 35 minutes. There's a time limit on the race, so it might not go to the full. Oh, and again we've got dramas down here. Number 26 comes to grief. Ryan Tvete, the American. Another car came into him, so at the head of the field, avoiding all these dramas, are our top three unchanged. Still Alexander Albon tailing them in fourth place. And Jake Dennis coming under fire from Albon, it seemed then. Just went out of shot. Is he going to get through? No. Albon had a big go there, though, the Lotus F1 back driver. Jake Dennis just about fended him off for third place. The third and fourth having a tight battle here. A little bit further down then, you've got Gustavo Menezes, who's made up some places at the start of this race. Coming from 13th on the grid. Menezes now into the points in 9th place at the start of the lap. And looking pretty racy as well. Let's see if he can get further up the field. Callum Ilott also looking to get points in his debut in F3's car racing debut. A lot to take in. Anything that might be familiar to him is surroundings. Not that he's raced at Silverstone before, but would no doubt have been here. So Jake Dennis just ahead of Alexander Albon. And then we've got Marcus Pommer coming after them. That's third, fourth and fifth then, going over the national pit straight and into Copse Corner. Not much between them. Just edging away from the 6th place car now, which is Lance Stroll, doing a good job. There is Gustavo Menezes, the American, in the points now. And as I say, looking pretty racy at the start of this lap. But Alexander Albon having an absolutely fantastic debut so far. British karting champion in cadets, almost junior of the categories back in 2006. A European KF3 karting champion as well. And suited very well, it seems, already to Silverstone and Formula 3 cars. Now, here we've got a challenge just a little bit further down inside the top 10. Gustavo Menezes coming under big fire here from Maximilian Gunther, the German driver, in the orange Muka Motorsport car. Had a look down the inside, but couldn't quite find his way through. This is for 7th and 8th positions. There is a move there further back, although running wide from number 22, Nabil Jeffrey, the Malaysian, had to go at the inside of Callum Ilott to try and gain a place. He got past, but then slithered wide on the wet stuff as he went out of the corner. And here is a replay of everybody running very wide through Copse Corner. It's a big wide runoff there these days, but it's a bit damp, as you can see, so you have to be very carefully. Somebody pulling off the circuit here, slithering off the... Oh, it's a problem, broken left rear wheel, and that was number 26, Ryan Tvete. We saw him coming together earlier on. He obviously carried on and then pulled off the circuit shortly thereafter. Oof, a lot going on at the start of the season. 33 races, the first one setting the tone in terms of pure action. No dramas, though, for our race leader so far. Felix Rosenquist pulling away now from Antonio Giovinazzi. The gap between them just under a second at the moment. And just over a second, he's increased it, actually. Then Jake Dennis, Albon, Pommer in 5th, Stroll 6th, Menezes and Gunther in 7th and 8th positions. And also in the points, we've got Nicholas Beer and Callum Ilott, 9th and 10th. Although Pietro Fittipaldi is coming after them and has moved himself up to 11th place now. So Pietro might be one to watch. And George Russell is also coming back up the order. He's gained a place or two and he's back up to 13th. Started 4th, down to 18th in the early incident. Back up the field, he's coming there. Tatiana Calderon is also making progress, and Sam McLeod also making progress. Outside of the top 20. So they've both gained a few positions since the race got going again. So there we can see that Stroll, number 25, just ahead of the yellow Gigoni I am with Carlin back to car of Gustavo Menezes. Those two battling for 6th position in the race here at Silverstone. And they are keeping tabs with Marcus Pommer, who's a couple of lengths in front of them in 5th place. Look at how much water there is if you go off the line there. On slick tyres, no chance. And that was George Russell, who's desperately trying to make his way back through the field. We saw the back end of that in the earlier replay. It was George Russell, the Carlin driver, who had a brave go up the inside into Carlin, but it was so wet on the inside, he just drifted wide once he tried to turn into the corner. Giovinazzi is doing a decent job of hanging on to the gap of the race leader here. Just more action further down the field. Mikkel Jensen there in the orange Muka Motorsport car. Just behind him, the Bill Jeffrey, the Malaysian 4-car train there, trying to get themselves themselves up and into the points. So great scraps all the way through the midfield here. But we'll just keep one eye on the lap times of Antonio Giovinazzi, because he's now set the fastest lap of the race. He's starting to inch towards the race leader. It's a replay of that move from Mikkel Jensen, the Danish driver. He somehow managed to make it stick, and another place lost there for Nabil Jeffrey. Loses another one there, just on the fringe of the top 10 to George Russell. So that puts George back up to 13th place now. 14th for Jeffrey, and he's got one of the Team Westtech F3 drivers on his tail, Fabian Schiller, the German driver. Westtech, one of the local teams here, one of the British teams. Fortech, who are just down the road in Northamptonshire as well. So they'll have good knowledge of the set of the cars. Nice and dry through the Beckett's S's, that's for sure. Getting quicker and quicker, one imagines, as the fuel load goes down, they get a bit of heat, the tyres get a bit of confidence, the track continues to dry out. And here we're about to see a move from Callum Ilott, are we? Yes, that's great stuff, right around the outside on the way to Stowe Corner. And he managed to get right around Nicholas Beer in the Euro International car there. That was brave stuff from Callum. It's his first car race, this, let me remind you. Not that you'd believe it. So that puts him now into 9th place. More points towards his tally here if he can hang on to it and stay where he is. Lovely move that, very confidently done. Picked up the slipstream down the long hanger straight. Took it around the outside because the inside line was covered, but it is nice and dry down there. He knew that. He knew there'd be grip, and the 16-year-old went for it. So it's his car racing debut. He actually contested one of the drivers that contested the Toyota Racing Series. Cars not as powerful as these, but give you a good feel. And this is his international Formula 3 debut. This is his first full season of car racing. Giovinazzi at times closes the gap ever so slightly to Felix Rosenqvist. He's certainly keeping him honest. They're not that close together at the moment. Rosenqvist has just had the better lap. He's set a new fastest lap of the race. All shenanigans here in the midfield at Silverstone. Everybody looking for points, everybody getting a bit more confident. And as the track evolves and dries, more grip becomes available. You can brake that a little bit later into the corners, you can get on the gas a bit harder, you can change your lines, get back to the dry racing lines. And you've got to keep evolving that. If you do what you did 2 laps ago, you're going to be too slow now. We're watching the progress of Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque, who should be at the front really. He's trying to get at the inside of Dorian Boccolacci, and he's just about going to do it, possibly. He's going to be on the outside as they go down through the S's. No, he's done it. He's got through before they get to Maggots and gained a place there, but he's still a long way down the order. Outside of the top 20, certainly a long way out of the top 20. He's made up about 10 or 11 places since he got going again, after that collision with George Russell earlier on. And you can see the slipstreaming effect here. Pull out of the slipstream, look to the inside. This is a move, an attempted move from Fabian Schiller. He's just about going to squeeze through here. He's keeping his foot in, making hard work of it though. He's Nabil Jeffrey. He's not going to give the place up easily. As into the gravel goes Alessio Larandi, the Italian for Van Amersfoort Racing. He's racing karts against Max Verstappen, coming into the championship, but running wide down. It's the start of the incident, just the results of it. And it looks like they swapped around again while we cut to that, because in this great scrap that we got going on, Nabil Jeffrey, the Malaysian, with the Petronas backing there, got his place back. Well, this is the replay. It was all on his own, and yet just drifted wide onto the damp stuff and understeered into the gravel trap. And that was out of Brooklands and on the way into Luffield, midway around the lap. Half distance in terms of the number of laps that we've had. We'll have to keep an eye on to the clock as to whether we squeeze them all in with a safety car start and the safety car just after the green flag came out. So Jeffrey and Schiller having that good battle over what's his 14th place. There is number 7, Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque driver, trying to work his way back up the order. Only 17 years of age, a World Cup karting champion a couple of years ago. Finished second in the KZ World Championship karting championship behind ... Max Verstappen 2 years ago. Before Max had that thunderous season in Formula 3, his debut in car racing last year. Anybody that followed Formula 3 last year would have been utterly confident that Max would hold his own in Formula 1. There were doubters who hadn't perhaps seen him, questioned whether he was too young to go to Formula 1. I think he's already proved them all wrong. He would have been in the points in the first Grand Prix of the season in Australia had the car not failed on him. He was in the points in the second race in Malaysia. Safety car out, and behind the safety car, Zikong Li, we'll see, has gone back out. Obviously he's not the leader, but he's the first car to be picked up by the safety car. And one would imagine that is because of Randy's car stuck in the gravel trap. And there he is, the rookie driver for Van Amersfoort Racing. 16-year-old, not looking particularly happy. It's his first car race, having come from karting as well, second in the WSK Champions Cup last year. It's a really high level of competition in international karting these days, and he's come through that. I think I'm right in saying everybody out there has come up through karting to come into the races. Not all of them starting that young. Most of them will have started when they were 8, 9, 10 years of age. But one or two, like Michele Beretta, when he started any kind of racing at all, any kind of karting a couple of years ago when he was 17. But most of these drivers, even if they are new to this level, this type of car, this speed of Formula 3, in terms of racecraft, they've probably been at it for 9 or 10 years now, a lot of them. There in the background you can see the Van Amersfoort racing car, Fritz Van Amersfoort's team, with one of their cars stranded in the gravel trap. There's the exit from Woodcote Corner onto the National Pit Straight. And there you can see that the safety car has now picked up our race leader, Felix Rosenqvist. So all his hard work was undone. He had just set the fastest lap of the race before the safety car, 1 minute 52.3. Now that is 1.3 seconds slower than the pole position time. So you can see that track is not far away now in terms of the ultimate pace. Still they can get quicker than that. So he had pulled the fastest lap, but he'd been trading lap times with Antonio Giovinazzi in second place. And the gap had been hovering at around about a second. So let's give you the rundown of the order. Felix Rosenqvist leads. Not by much now, of course. Every time he tries to get away, something happens. There is the stricken car, which has caused the safety car. But a very thoughtful looking Alessio Lorande. Apparently Max Verstappen said to the team boss, Fritz Van Amersfoort, last year, the only one that really pushed him in karting was Alessio Lorande. So Fritz thought he'd better sign him up then, as he'd gone so well with Max last year. But a difficult start for the Italian, to be expected really. The rookie's going so well, the leading rookie's going so well in last year's championship. In a sense, of course, you perhaps can expect a bit more as a rookie this season, certainly in terms of points, because half the field are in the same boat as you. They're all rookies as well. And perhaps then even more pressure on the likes of Rosenqvist and Dennis and Giovinazzi to perform, knowing that they've got this extra experience. So Felix Rosenqvist leads the race. We are not going to squeeze the laps in because there's only, as you can see from the counter, only 6 minutes 40 seconds to go before we reach the maximum duration of 35 minutes here. It's been a lively race, there's been lots going on, and I still don't think Felix Rosenqvist has got this one won yet. He's controlling things, but he's not pulling away, and Antonio Giovinazzi in second place, hanging on to him before the safety car came out. So Rosenqvist leads for Prema Power Team, Giovinazzi is second for Jagonia Hayam with Carlin. Jake Dennis in third place for Prema Power Team. Alexander Olbon is fourth at the moment, doing a really good job just outside the podium, and is the top rookie. Podiums and trophies for the top 3 rookies as well in each race. Marcus Pommer is in 5th place. Lance Stroll is 6th as we see the recovery operation getting underway. That's 6th and also the second best rookie. Gustavo Meneses having a decent race in 7th. And then we've got the third best rookie running in 8th place overall is Maximilian Gunther. Driver haven't had a chance to talk too much about yet. Comes from a very beautiful part of Germany, Bavaria.